All right, if you're running a local service business, we need to talk. There's this incredibly powerful ad tool from Google, and guess what? Your competition is probably all over it already. So think of this as your playbook, your secret weapon for not just competing, but winning in 2026.
So let me just ask you something, point blank. Are you invisible to your best customers? And look, the answer might be yes, even if you feel like you're pouring money into marketing and doing everything by the book. Okay, here's a stat that should wake you up. 40%. That's how many of your potential customers click the very first thing they see on Google. Not the second, not the map, the absolute first result.
So what does that mean? It's simple, really. If you're not in that number one spot, you're basically invisible to almost half of the people looking for your services. You're not just losing. You're not even playing the game.
This whole idea is what we call owning the digital high ground. It's just like in a battle. The one on top has the advantage. And on Google, that high ground has a name: local service ads.
And just look where these things sit. We're not talking about just being on the first page. Local service ads, or LSAs for short, are at the very, very top. They are literally above the pay-per-click ads, above the map pack, and way, way above all those regular organic results. But it's not just about having the best real estate on the page. Think about your normal Google ads, the pay-per-click ones. You pay every single time someone clicks your ad, right? Whether they become a customer or not. LSAs, they completely flip that on its head. This chart really spells it out. With LSAs, you're at the very top, and you pay per lead, like an actual phone call from a potential customer. With PPC, you're further down the page, paying for just a click. But the real secret sauce, the thing that makes LSAs so powerful, is that Google screened badge, and we're going to get into why that's such a big deal. So, okay, how do you actually win with these things? Because it's not as simple as just flicking a switch. The playbook, the strategy to really dominate with LSAs, boils down to two key ideas: speed and trust. Let's kick things off with trust. You see that little green check mark? That's the Google screened badge, and it's the engine behind this whole thing. It's not just a pretty icon. It's Google telling every single homeowner, hey, we've checked this company out. We verified their license, their insurance. We've even run background checks. I mean, when you're looking for someone to come into your home, what's more powerful than that? But here's the thing. Earning that trust, that just gets you in the door. To actually win, to stay at the top of the rankings, you have to nail the second part of the playbook: speed. And when it comes to speed, there is one simple, kind of brutal rule that Google enforces. It's what separates the pros from the amateurs. We call it the 15-second rule. Now, you've got to wrap your head around this. When that phone rings from an LSA lead, Google is watching. Not listening to your conversation, don't worry. But they are timing you. They're tracking how fast you answer the phone. And that response time, it's a huge factor in their algorithm. 15 seconds. That's the magic number. That's your window. If you can consistently pick up that phone in 15 seconds or less, we're talking like 3 rings, you're sending a massive signal to Google that you are ready for business. And the algorithm loves that. It rewards you by pushing your ads higher up. It's really that simple. And of course, the opposite is true. And this is a big one. A missed call is so much more than just a lost customer. In the world of LSA, it's a penalty. Google sees that missed call and your rank gets knocked down a peg. If you miss too many, you could literally just disappear from the top spot altogether. Okay, so you've got the trust thing down, you're answering the phone like a lightning bolt. Now it's time for the pro move. This is the part that I promise you most of your competitors are totally sleeping on. We're going to talk about finding the hidden money in your budget. And listen up, because this is crucial. Yeah, it's a pay-per-lead system, but that doesn't mean every single lead they charge you for is legit. No way. You are absolutely going to get charged for spam calls, for solicitors, for wrong numbers. Amateurs, they just eat that cost. But the pros, they know you can get that money back. And the process is surprisingly simple. It's just 2 steps. Step 1, every single week, you listen to your calls and you flag every single one that wasn't a real customer. Step 2, you hop into your LSA dashboard and you dispute every single one of those bogus charges. So is it worth the effort? Yeah! We're talking about getting back 15 to 20% of your total ad spend. That's not a small number. That is pure profit going straight back into your business. All right, let's get to the final piece of this playbook. And I'll warn you, this one might feel a little backwards at first. It's all about how you set your budget. So, what do most people do?
They set a small, safe budget cap. They're afraid of overspending. But here's what that tells Google's algorithm. Hey, I've got limited capacity, don't send me too much business. So when a perfect, high-value lead comes along, who do you think Google gives it to? That's right, your competitor who has their budget wide open. An uncapped budget signals to Google that you are open for business and you're ready to take on whatever they send you.
This right here is the big mindset shift. You don't control your costs by capping your budget. You control your costs by disputing the bad leads. See the difference? You open the floodgates to signal to Google you want everything, and then you just filter out the junk yourself and get your money back. It's a game changer.
So let's put it all together. Here's your winning checklist. First, you've got to own that high ground with LSAs. Second, build instant trust with that Google screen badge. Third, win the 15-second race. Answer that phone fast. Fourth, find the hidden money by disputing every single bad lead. And finally, signal to Google you're a major player by using an uncapped budget.
And that's it. That is the whole playbook. It's simple, but it is incredibly powerful, and it absolutely works. So the real question I have for you is, are you going to keep competing for the scraps, for the leftover clicks down the page? Or are you ready to use this playbook and start truly owning your market?